Well, hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. It's Friday, the 21st of October, and hello. Today I'm going to be talking about the now infamous, even though it's only a few days old, Variety interview that Meghan Markle did with the publication. Did you know that it was recorded weeks before the Queen died and then re-recorded after the monarch's death to pay tribute to her warmth and leadership? That's right, Meghan Markle really has to crowbar the Queen in there. Did she not talk about the Queen prior to her death and thought, hey up, I better get that in just to make sure I don't get slated? Or do you think it was possibly a light bulb moment? This is how I can milk a few extra sympathy votes. Anyway, she has done an interview with Variety about a wide-ranging issues, including misconceptions about her. She opened up about the death on the Queen, saying, like I've just said, that she's proud of their relationship and it had a nice warmth. That's a weird way of describing somebody, isn't it? They've got a nice warmth. She said that she never plans to act again and would help anyone playing her on TV and film with the part. Well, of course you would. That's your narcissism speaking, isn't it? Can you imagine how that would go if somebody was in fact playing her in a role and how controlling she would be on every aspect? She offered to help coach any actress who plays her in a drama in future. She said, I hope that in preparing for that role, she finds the softness and the playfulness and the laughter, the silliness. I just hope she finds the dimension. Also, she can call me. I think one of the funniest things that she revealed is that her and Harry go out for drive-through burgers at In-N-Out and love giant chocolate cookies and that they know their order. I'm sorry, I'm not buying that at all. No, not one bit. Little Miss Vegan, no, not having it. She claims that she and Harry have a love for fast food joint In-N-Out Burger and how they eat chocolate chip cookies the size of my toddler's head while taking breaks from joint Zoom meetings or commuting together to LA. Speaking of Harry's eating habits, my husband's favourite is In-N-Out. There is one at the halfway point between LA and our neck of the woods. It's really fun to go through the drive-through and surprise them. They know our order. Surprise them! I'm sorry, her ego is staggering. She claims there are misconceptions about her since she married Harry, claiming their love story had inspired the world because people love love. Funny thing about love, isn't it? When you're truly, truly happy and in love, you don't slate your family. Just a thought. She says that she and Harry are optimistic about the future and want to be surrounded by family and friends. Family? Whose family? Describing their passion, she said, so much of how my husband and I see things is through our love story. I think that's what people around the world connect to, especially with our wedding. People love love. I'm not excluded in that sentiment. And our definition of love is really expansive. Partner love, self-love, the love of community and family. We use that as the baseline of the kind of shows and documentaries we want out there. Now, with this interview came a menagerie of highly glam photos. Well, they say highly glam. It just looks like she's standing behind a parachute. It's very strange. The cover is bizarre. And if you actually look at the Cut magazine cover and Variety magazine cover, it's really rather different. Almost ethereal. We've seen that one before, haven't we, with the halo effect? Gosh, that's going back. Now, she wore an extensive amount of outfits and was filmed laughing and joking and even lying on her stomach, kicking her legs with apparent excitement. It's giddy, it's weird, and it was just all a bit forced for my humble opinion. The front cover was the Meghan moment, which is screaming narcissism to me. And in the feature, headlined, Meghan Markle lets her guard down. She spoke first about her recent trip to the UK with Harry, where their tour was interrupted by the Queen's death. Now, she says in the interview that the days and weeks after the Queen's death, that it's been a complicated time, but my husband, ever the optimist, said now she's reunited with her husband. Oh, God. She said during the time while they were in England, there's been such an outpouring of love and support. I'm really grateful that I was able to be with my husband to support him, especially during that time. What's so beautiful is to look at the legacy that his grandmother was able to leave on so many fronts. Certainly in terms of female leadership, she is the most shining example of what that looks like. I feel deep gratitude to have been able to spend time with her and get to know her. Well, that's funny because didn't you do a front cover of Vogue where you put shining examples of female leaderships and the Queen wasn't one of them? Shall I just remind you here? The Vogue cover, Forces for Change. Here we go. This is it. Where's the Queen? And that was mentioned at the time, by the way. Where's the Queen? She's not done with the Queen in this particular interview either. She added, I reflected on that first official engagement that I had with her, how special that felt. I felt fortunate and can continue to be proud to have a nice warmth with the matriarch of the family. Now, I may beg to differ, but I believe that was her only engagement with the Queen. She's been part of engagements with other family members with the Queen, but that was her only solo engagement with the Queen. She also opened up about speaking to Oprah, where we all very well remember they accused the royal family of racism. And she said that her Californian friends had gathered around her to support her. She said, it's like they knew exactly what I needed to feel in that moment. It meant and still means so very much to me. The power of sisterhood and female support can never be underestimated. But she continued to say that public has misconceptions about her and saying, I think that what happens looking in from outside when there is much noise is that you become dehumanized, and that she says she hopes her Archetype podcast will help people see her as a real person. It would help if you stopped lying, Meghan. That would really, really help. She also, lucky for us, gave us a little in-depth peek at what family life is like. She describes her life with Harry working together in a shared office after getting their children ready in the morning. When it's not joint Zoom calls, they commute to LA and sometimes take a trip to an In-N-Out burger drive-thru where they know our order. But most importantly, something happened in this interview that possibly we were expecting. Now, we all know the docuseries that is due out in December has now been delayed until 2023. Meghan, apparently, during the interview, appeared to distance herself from the Netflix docuseries set for release, suggesting left-wing filmmaker Gloria Steinem had taken the lead, and Meghan had said, it's nice to be able to trust someone with our story, a seasoned director whose work I've long admired, even if it means it may not be the way we would have told it. Yeah, that's her getting ready to say that they weren't culpable, and it was, in fact, the producers, directors, and the filmmakers themselves that portrayed them in the way that they did, and it's their fault, not Harry and Meghan's. That's her laying the foundations of blame if it all goes tits up, which it will. Now, she also touches on the Cut interview. Now, remember that she squarely issued some barbed statements towards the royal family, and this was done prior to the Queen's passing. And yet again, she's shifting the blame as only Meghan can. She said on her bombshell interview with The Cut in September, which contains a series of attacks on the royals, she suggested she had been too trusting and open. She said, I've had some time to reflect on it. Part of me is just really trusting, really open. I can survive it. Again, shifting blame, it wasn't me, it was them. There's a pattern emerging here, isn't there? I want to divert your attention to a very interesting tweet by a lady called Brooke Hammerling. Now, she tweeted yesterday, "I have defended Meghan Markle when virtually no one around me will. But it's hard to do when she gives an interview to Variety saying she was too open and trusting with Alison P. Davies and The Cut. I know the comms people she has worked with. They are the best. She was well prepared." There you go, somebody calling her out, saying, "You're talking absolute tosh." Now imagine how the royal family felt about the way that they have been dealt with these two. The grenades that have been thrown squarely at them. She's not so innocent. And this Variety magazine shoot and interview tries to paint her as that and deflects blame when only there are two people to blame, and that is Harry and Meghan. It is all very well and good saying that she was too open and too trusting, but she herself said those words, nobody else. You can't blame somebody for your own mistakes. Don't blame the writer, don't blame the producer, don't blame the camera crew, don't blame the photographer. If you did it, you did it. Now own your mistakes, because that's the only redemption you'll ever get. Unfortunately, Meghan doesn't believe in redemption because she doesn't feel like she's done anything wrong, and neither does Harry, who, by the way, has been on stage with Better Up and denied he knew anything about therapy while in the royal family. This is the most biggest clang of all time. Did he not start Heads Up with William and Catherine? Did he not say during an interview, sit down with William and Catherine, that he had had therapy? The fact that he can sit on stage with Better Up and deny he knew anything about therapy is mind-bogglingly ridiculous. You can't rewrite history when history is literally there in black and white on the internet. Both of them are hypocrites, both of them are devoid of any responsibility, and both of them need a good old healthy dose of reality. And with that, I would ask you for your comments. What do you feel about this Variety magazine and all the things that she said? What do you think about her advice on if anybody was playing with her? How egotistical of her is that she would want complete control, as it sounds, to navigate whoever plays her in the role. Again, narcissism 101. What about it being recorded prior to the Queen's death and having to be re-recorded because she wanted to, inflict that little bit of information about the Queen that she didn't speak of before, but she wanted to make sure that everybody knew that there was a nice warmth to their relationship when she didn't speak of it before, nor did she put her on the cover of Vogue magazine. That was a huge clanger too. It seems to be that this is a PR masterclass of avoiding blame. Batten down the hatches, get ready for the backlash, and blame everybody else. The sincerity just isn't there. So I would love to know your thoughts on all of this nonsense. As always, let me know. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.